The Commute, or The Savage Journey into the Drudgery of the Corporate World and the Death of the American Soul by Johnny Robb. February 1, 6:00 a.m. It started just like any other day. Tom woke up and brushed his teeth. He put on his work suit, which consisted of a white button-up black cargo pants and a Felix the cat tie his coworker had bought him as a gag gift. As he combed his hair, he could hear his wife in the other room nursing their 11-month-old baby. Suddenly, the phone rang. "Can you get that, honey?" he yelled from across the house. "Timmy, can you get the phone? I'm busy with the baby," the mother screeched as their hyperactive 7-year-old came running across the room. "Here you go, Dad," Jimmy said with a smile. Tom looked down warmly. "Okay, but remember not to run around the house like that. All right, son?" he said in a stern, corrective, yet compassionate tone. "We don't want you running into any furniture and hurting yourself." "Okay, Dad," Jimmy said, tail metaphorically between his legs as he handed over the phone and walked out of the room. "Hello, who is this?" Tom asked in a slightly nervous tone. "Hey man, it's me, Jake." Tom rubbed his eyes, trying to place the random caller. "I'm sorry, who?" Oh man, come on. You know me, remember from the company Christmas party." The little light bulb in Tom's head lit up. "Oh yeah, you're the guy that." Jake interrupted. "Yeah, well, anyway, can you give me my, pharmaceuticals? I left some pills in your car." Tom rested his arm across the mirror. "Okay, sure," he said in a slightly annoyed tone. Jake smiled through the receiver. "Yeah, man, thanks. They're in the glove compartment. They help ease my mind." Jake was a good kid. His parents were wealthy and able to send him to a prestigious tech school on the East Coast, where he earned a degree in coding. He spent the next few years working odd jobs before landing a position at SATT Industries, a tech company specializing in home computers and PC video game software. He rarely drank or smoked. I'm telling you this because it's important context later, even though Tom and Jake don't cross paths again in this story. Tom hung up the phone and put on his thick-rimmed, black square glasses, brushing back his slicked back hair to reveal a subtle widow's peak. He headed to the kitchen, where his wife had prepared scrambled eggs, bacon, and toast with maple syrup. He took a single bite and kissed her on the cheek. "You're not going to eat your full breakfast?" she asked, concerned. "I can't, honey. I'm running late," he said, rushing. Jimmy walked up to him holding a piece of paper. "Look, Daddy, I drew a picture." It was a smiley face. Tom patted his son on the head. "It's very nice, kiddo." He rushed out the door. "I'll see you at 5." His wife waved. "Don't forget to buy some cough syrup." Tom closed the door and yelled back, "Okay, honey." He opened it again real quick to grab his winter coat, having almost forgotten it in the face of a harsh New England winter. He made his way to his 1996 Honda Accord. Its license plate reads 699, accompanied by a bumper sticker that proudly declared, "I'm going to frick you in the masshole." He climbed inside and turned the key. Nothing. The engine wouldn't turn over. Frustrated, Tom kicked the dashboard. "Come on, you piece of shit." As if on command, the car roared to life, startling him so hard he jerked onto the icy road. He thought to himself, well, it can't get much worse than this. Just then, a heavy shelf of snow slid off the roof and buried his windshield. God damn it. 7:59 a.m. midway through his morning commute, Norman Greenbaum's Spirit in the Sky was blasting from the radio.
Never been a sinner, I never sinned. I got a friend in Jesus. So you know that when I die, it's gonna set me up with the Spirit in the sky. Whoa.
It had been smooth sailing so far. His shift didn't start until 9:30 a.m., giving him an hour and a half to spare. But then he hit the interstate and slammed right into a gridlocked standstill. In pure defeat, Tom slammed his head against the steering wheel, instantly triggering the driver's airbag to explode into his face. "Ah, shit," he said in a deadpan voice. He frantically stuffed the deflated airbag back into the steering column. When he looked back up, all he saw was an endless sea of metal and tacky, bright paint jobs. He was lost in a desert of modern Fords and Toyotas, every last one sporting a Calvin Peeing sticker. He slapped a hand onto his forehead. Shit, this is going to be one long ride. 8:30 a.m. 30 minutes had passed, and he had barely moved 3 miles. Tired of sitting silently, he leaned on his horn. Come on, you assholes. Can't you drive any faster? Farther up the interstate, a voice bellowed back. I'll take as much time as I like. Cock knobbler. Tom took a deep breath, trying to suppress his rage, and shouted out the window. You know other people have places to be, jobs to get to? He let out a bitter, nervous laugh. I'll have you know, I am extremely heterosexual. I have a wife and kids to provide for. You ever have to do that? Be the only thing standing between your kids' future and them becoming drug dealers. The other car honked back mockingly. Tom seethed with hatred. Up he yours, ass shoal. Panic began to set in. It had been over half an hour. His shift was still a ways off, but at this rate, he was going to be 30 minutes, maybe a full hour late. His mind began to race. He thought of his wife, his kids. How were they going to eat if he lost his job? What would his friends say about an unemployed bum who couldn't support his household? Most of all, he thought of his jackass father. What would he think seeing his pride and joy lose one of the most stable jobs in the state of Massachusetts? He could practically hear his dad's voice snickering. I knew you wouldn't make it. You're nothing but a freeloader, just like your mother was. He hated thinking about his mother. She had abandoned the family when he was young to join drugged-out orgies in Arizona. His father's phantom voice echoed in his head. Tom, your mother wanted me to pay for an abortion. I didn't have the money, and I didn't believe in that stuff back then. But looking at you now, and the state you're in, the phantom leaned closer. I wonder if we'd all be better off if you'd never been born. Tom slammed on the brakes and brought the car to a halt, though traffic was moving so slowly he had only been going 2 miles an hour anyway. Tears began streaming down his face. I'm not a failure, he sobbed, wiping his eyes. I need to stop crying. I'm a man, goddamn it. Then, a thought struck him. Wait, didn't that kid Jake say he had medicine in the glove box? He began frantically scrambling through the glove compartment. He said it helps ease his mind. Maybe just a little bit won't hurt. His fingers brushed against a tiny square. Aha! Found it! He pulled it into the light, expecting a pill bottle, only to freeze. Wait a minute. This is a sticker? He stared at it, bewildered. It was a tiny tab adorned with a yellow smiley face. Then, the realization hit him like a freight train. Oh wait, is this LSD? He instantly threw it onto the passenger seat like it was radioactive. Tom had never done hard drugs, aside from smoking weed once in college, which ended with his father showing up to campus and handing down a beating of biblical proportions. He was completely straight-laced. The humiliation had scared him straight forever. Besides, he was a father now. How could he set a good example if he turned into some drugged-up hippie? But then again, he thought, his desperation taking over. Just one small dose. Just enough to ease my mind through this traffic. He picked the tab back up, unwrapped it, and read the back. Place Ontongua. He placed it on his tongue. How long does this take to kick in? Suddenly, his eyes dilated as strawberry fields forever began pouring out of the radio.
Let me take you down.
The world began to twist. Tom looked into his rearview mirror and watched the cars around him morph into rubbery, animated vehicles straight out of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Hey, Four Eyes! A cartoon sedan yelled at him. You gonna drive, or just daze off into La La Land? Tom nodded submissively. Yes, sir. He tapped the gas pedal, moving forward an inch. For crying out loud, get this jackass off the road. The cars chorused. The radio hummed on.
Strawberry fields.
Suddenly, a hard knock echoed against his driver's side window. Tom turned, Standing on the highway asphalt was a blue Meanie from Yellow Submarine. Tom rolled down his window. "Hello, sir? Sir, you're going to have to step out of the vehicle," the Meanie growled. "Yes, sir." Tom stumbled out into the middle of the interstate as the music swelled.
Nothing to get hung about. Strawberry fields forever.
9:00 a.m. It had been 30 minutes since the encounter with the blue Meanie. When Tom had stepped out of the car, the sky had erupted into a blinding kaleidoscope of impossible colors. The reality was far less glamorous. He had spent the last half hour locked in the back of a state police cruiser on felony drug possession charges. Sitting in the back seat, his mind spiraled deeper into bad trip paranoia. Fuck. Now I'm really going to lose my job. He began hallucinating his boss standing over him in a full SS officer uniform, swinging a leather whip. "You good-for-nothing parasite. What made you think getting high was a good idea?" Tom flinched in agony as if the lashes were real. "No! Stop! Please!" The police officer glanced in his rearview mirror, watching Tom writhe in the fetal position. "It's all my fault. I'm unworthy. I'm not worthy of employment." Tom shrieked to the ceiling of the cruiser. "Please release me from this sorrow. Oh, sweet Satan." The officer, casually, turned on the radio just as the climax of Black Sabbath's War Pigs filled the car.
Day of judgment, God is calling. Underneath the war pigs crawling, begging mercies for the sins. Satan laughing.
"Are you all right back there, man?" the officer asked. Tom's mind detached from reality entirely. The world around him melted into a vision of biblical damnation. Hellfire burned on all sides, leaving only a single, perfectly pristine office cubicle standing amidst the brimstone. In the center of the flames stood a towering statue, a creature with a human torso, goat legs, a stiff white button-up shirt, and a tie printed with the Star of David. The statue boomed. "Make sure to work. Extra overtime in tribute to Lucifer, the great demiurge." Before Tom could comprehend the scene, a short, pudgy man in overalls stepped forward. His shirt read, "I believe it because the TV told me so." Instead of a human head, he had an old Zenith C1312 WCRT television set rested on his shoulders. The man clicked his head on. Static hissed, then snapped into a crystal-clear cartoon broadcast of children playing in a meadow. "Hey Billy, do you want to play a game?" one animated child asked. "Sure, Paul. What do you have in mind?" Paul led Billy to a dark corner of the forest, where a glowing chalk symbol was drawn on the dirt. Paul, I don't think I like this," Billy whimpered. "Nonsense, Billy. There's nothing to be afraid of." Paul took a small blade, nicked his wrist, and smeared a drop of blood around the circle. He began to chant, "Oh, great dark one, hear our cry. Use this sigil to make us fly." The earth shattered open, and a terrifying entity crawled from the abyss, a dark, rabbit-like creature covered in quills and jagged ears. Paul cheered. The rabbit snapped its fingers, instantly dressing the children in high-end designer suits. "Thank you for these gifts, Mr. Moloch, the elder god." The kids cheered in unison. Moloch blushed. "Oh, it's no big deal, kids. All I ask in return is your undying loyalty and allegiance to the god of capital." "Why, yes, Mr. Moloch," Billy chanted in a drone-like trance. "I've already decided to get a degree in business. Who cares about the state of the world? As long as I get mine." The TV broadcast abruptly cut to a commercial. The all-new consumable good. "Now you can." The audio skipped, looping endlessly. "Consume. Consume. Consume." Suddenly, Moloch leaped straight out of the CRT screen into the realm of Tom's trip. "What's the hubbub, bub?" The rabbit sneered, leaning in close. "Wait, what do you want?" Tom whimpered. Moloch laughed, taking a bite out of his snack which, instead of a carrot, was a raw piece of human flesh. I don't want anything. I just want you fat, working, and happy. I don't believe you, Tom yelled. Moloch feigned hurt feelings. Ah, come on, man. I just want you to be a good consumer. Don't you have a wife and kids you have to provide for? Don't you dare mention my family. Moloch grabbed Tom by the chin, his claws digging in. Or what? You planning on running off with that hot new piece of ass at your office? Tom spat straight into the demon's face. Keep my family out of your mouth. Moloch wiped the spit away with a disgusted look. Ew. Touched a nerve, did I? He grinned wickedly. It's not like you ever really cared about them anyway. Why else would you get high on the job? Surely you knew you'd get fired from the video game company if you got caught, right? Did you think the drugs would just wear off? Moloch leaned in even closer. And what about dear old dad? The phantom image of Tom's father materialized in the fire behind them, his voice echoing in unison with the demon. I wonder if we'd all be better off if you had never been born. Stop getting into my head, shrieked. Moloch burst out laughing. What, are you gonna cry? Do you think you can find purpose without me? The demon's face pressed right against Tom's forehead. You are nothing without me. You must dedicate your entire life to suffering for it and benefit. Stop it. Stop it. CCT always use you nothing you society everything. Moloch roared. You're a beauty to be stepped on. Just another cog in the machine. Conform. Obey. Moloch let out one final, deafening cackle as the hallucinatory fire began to fade back into reality. Tom opened his eyes, hyperventilating in the back of the police cruiser. Hey man, are you all right? The officer asked from the front seat. Tom looked out the windshield just in time to see the cruiser veering wildly off the road. Look, a ute. Tom's vision snapped to black as the police car plowed headfirst into a massive highway billboard. The billboard was an advertisement for SHAT Industries. In giant, bold letters, it read, Fun is infinity here at SHAT software, hardware, and tech. Right next to the slogan was an image of the company's corporate mascot, a dark, grinning cartoon rabbit. Nobody knows what happened to Tom after that day. The police and the news declared him dead in the crash, but others say he vanished into the shadows of the underground, and a few even believe he was dragged straight to hell to work in the afterlife's human resources department. Finn.
Yeah, if you like the story, you can subscribe. I'll probably try to find a better way to do the audio. I'll probably hire a voice actor to redo the story once I have the money to do that. But so far, there's only a slight few mistakes, but I will see what I can do if I can make a remastered version, because the text-to-speech isn't very good, or at least it was decent at first, you know? We have to go to bed. I have work in the morning.